Hey, what's with all the dishes? Why are there so many empty beer bottles everywhere? Okay, so there's dishes, and it looks like there's a note and a movie playing. Okay, we'll have to watch that later. Let's see. So I made you some soup, okay, because, okay, I wanted you to know I could cook, okay, not just stock. I mean, watch you from across the street. I mean, love your show, CW. Sounds like someone who's called the panic hotline before.
I find that a lot of times when you're stalking, when you're following someone around, you know, soup is great fuel for sleeping in your car for a couple of weeks. Let's say you're following someone, you know, not in a creepy way, but like, you know, just for fun. It's like good fuel, and it's healthy for you in case, you know, you have to eat prison food after. Not saying you would, but you know. I always find that when you cut leeks, there's a very satisfying crunch. It's a lot like bones. No? You can't say that? Okay. Cut again, huh? Oil the bottom of the pan, because honestly, oiling the sides first, it's tricky, and I'm not sure there's a good purpose for it. You want to use a lot of leeks for this. A huge, giant amount, like maybe 4,000 or 5,000. I recommend the use of a fork truck when you do this, so that, you know, it's not heavy. For you personally, I mean, it is for the fork truck, but then again, I've never heard a fork truck complain. Get them in here. Once they're in, they're in. Give them a quick stir. Get a little oil on them. You know, there's a ton of vegetable in here, and it's primarily water, which you want to get rid of. So medium-high heat, you know, while it cooks. We're not trying to cook the water. We want to get rid of it. Water generally is not very easy to cook, you know, unless you're Sylvester Stallone, who does one hell of a water souffle. No? I read that wrong. Okay, cut again. This head of garlic, you want to turn it on its side and smash it to open it up. It's a quick and easy way to do it. It's just like when you say smash a doorknob with a hammer in order to break into a house. No, I can't say that either, huh? No. Okay, you guys are really, really tying my hands here. Alright, so here's your head of garlic. Cloves are broken up. Most of the loose paper, it's gone. Throw those in there and take 14 or 15,000 gallons of milk and throw it in there. 4 or 5 cups. Okay, 4 or 5 cups. It's the same thing. 4 or 5 cups is what you need with the garlic in the pan. So I've thrown it in here, and we're talking like a 3, which is more than a 2, but less than a 4 for your heat. Right around there, or maybe a 4 or a 2. I don't know. I don't know numbers. You know, you don't make it real hot, and you leave it there for a while, like 15 minutes. I'm putting salt in here. You can see, not because, you know, actually salt is good in here. It's because the salt deserves it. You know, it really does deserve sitting in a hot pan full of leeks. Should I be drinking beer? Is that what you're asking? Oh, it might make me erratic. Like maybe I break into someone's house and make them soup? What are you talking about? So, mushrooms. These are creminis. I like them because, you know, they don't have the problem of, you know, the self-esteem issues that a lot of mushrooms have, which is why I use them. You're going to cut them up, but you don't have to be pretty. Believe me, you're going to grind them up later. Notice that all those leeks have gotten a lot smaller. Primarily from shame, but a lot of it is some of the water that they've given up. Get your mushrooms in the pan. It's time they paid. And people ask me, Chris, why don't you add the mushrooms at the beginning? And the answer is culpability. Primarily, you can always blame the mushrooms because you're in somebody's house, but also because texture. You know, if you overcook them, they turn into mush. And even when we grind them up, you can still taste and feel a little bit of the texture difference. All right, strain it. You want to get the garlic out, mainly because those little suckers, they'll turn on you in a second. And there's no doubt that they'll talk to the cops if you let them. So get them out of there. I don't always drink bottled beer out of a glass, but when I do, no, not interesting enough? Okay. Grate your cheese because, you know, otherwise you have to have someone else do it, and there's a trust issue with that. This cheese in particular is called Alibi cheese. No, not Alibi. Asiago cheese. And it works real well in this dish. Take some of your cheese to do slices, you know, for a garnish, and because I said so. Alright, so you're going to use a boat motor, or one of these magic sticks as they're called, to turn this into a puree, you know, really smooth. I've got, you know, a real fondness for these devices. I've got one at home. It's like 7 feet long. It has a seat on it, wheels, and a handlebar, and I trim the neighbor's hedges with it. You know, whatever you feel, do what you need. Tilt it a little and let in the chunks. Now, pepper it. I mean, really get into it like you mean it. You want a lot of pepper in here. Be serious about it. Like if you were to hire dolphins to be attorneys, you know, they wouldn't be good at it, but you'd be taken seriously doing it. No one would argue. Put your cheese in and make sure you add it from a dish, because if you don't, I mean, seriously, you're not going to have near enough dishes at the end of this. No one's going to take you seriously and think that you really put any effort into what you're cooking. I mean, efficiency is not very valuable here. Alright, so the soup is basically done. It's nice, it's creamy, it's still got a bit of texture because you didn't murder the mushrooms more than necessary. So put it in a bowl, because eating out of here, you know, it's gratuitous. After you get the soup in the bowl, garnish it with a little bit of cheese and a little bit of smugness. It makes the soup, you know, a little extra special in case you do something illegal, like say break and enter and make soup at somebody's house and then run away and hope you have alibis. Cut your bread and mean it. You know, pretend you're doing midwifing on a Kodiak bear with a pair of tongs. Be serious about it. So, the soup's in a bowl, bowl's on a plate. Again, think gratuitous plates, lots of dishes. It means serious cuisine. And you put bread in it because, let's face it, what else was the bread doing? It was just sitting there on the counter. And it's a fantastic meal. Now, you hope that at this point nobody's called the cops and you get out of the house as fast as you can. And film the results from across the street if possible. The neighbor's bushes are kind of stuggly. Almost forgot the beer.